Hello, welcome to the 2000 subscriber special for my YouTube channel. So for this video, I thought I'd make a free lesson for everybody on how to play with your techniques and specifics of how to look for applications. Because anyone who tells you that there's only one application for any movement is a liar or they don't know. There's infinite possible techniques that you can come out of any movement. So how we're going to do this is by breaking it down into 4 categories. First category is the obvious technique. So the movement that we're going to take today, that we're going to use and find the applications of, is from Yang style Tai Chi, and it's called brush, knee, and push. So the obvious thing is like, the most obvious. This is a block, this is a strike, right? And if you're doing like a kick, right, the obvious thing is it's a kick, right? So he goes a strike, right? I can block this out of the way and strike him in the face, right? Or you could even change it, the application, so he's like kicking, and we can block this, strike in the face, right? So that's the most obvious, and that's where everybody starts. But after that is where we really start to dig deep into the details. Because after the first stage, which is the obvious thing, then we go to what we call change the attack or change the direction. So this means changing the orientation of where I am, like in position to him, so I could be, he could be behind me, he could be to the side of me, he could be in front of me, So that's the idea of changing the direction. And changing the attack, we fall upon the 4 categories of attacking. There's da, ti, na, and shuai. So da means hitting or anything with the hands, and ti means to kick, so anything with the leg. Then na means to seize, control. It's often associated with chin na, so like joint locking and acupoint pressure. And then shuai, which is throwing and grappling. So first, right, we already went through the obvious da. Now let's go for ti, right? So here, I can use this to kick before I come in and attack, right? So with this movement, there's no obvious kick there, which is why we have to, look more deeply. Every time I step, it's a potential kick. So I could do like I did here, where I attack the knee on the way and then attack, or I could use it to attack his ankle, right? Even step on the foot or stamp on it, depending on what I want to do. So that we can get ti. Next, let's look for na. So with na, right, for here, this is the first part, right? This is a na. So na means to seize. In this, it means to control their body, right? Whether you're grabbing joints and manipulating the joints, or you're seizing control of their spine and their center of gravity. In this case, right, I take their arm and I trap it against their body, so now I've seized this space, and now as I step forward, I'm seizing control of his spine and center of gravity by taking him off balance. So this is one type of knot. So this would be like what I refer to as a prison shape move, right? So you pin them up against the wall and you just start hitting them, right? So that's one way of seeing knot. But a little bit more joint locky type of way, because a lot of people associate now with chin knot, right? You could throw a punch, right? I can come from the side here, and then I come around and use this. So this is my brushing the knee, right? Here I get this nice little joint lock here, and I can smash the back of the head. So one more time. So here, bend the joint, rotate, and then smash. Cool. And now we need shuai. So with this one, we're going to change the direction as well, because we haven't really changed the direction yet. So he's going to throw a punch. I'm going to come around here and then weave my way through until I get this. I'm going to let you out of that so that I don't tear your shoulder joint. But from here we do what chin na refers to as old man carries the fish on his back. So from here I step behind and I would be throwing him over the top. But as you can see, from this throw, we're in the brush, knee, and palm position, right? So he attacks, right? I deflect to the side, roll through, and then I have that throw. So this both changes the direction, it orients him behind me, and also changes to shuai. So that's change the attack, change the direction, that's step 2. Now we have step 3. What did I miss, right? So at this point, we take a look at our positioning, anything we might not have thought of. So for one, right, you might attack, I might start with that na here, right, where I'd be trapping him and prison shanking him. But if I think about where I'm positioned right now, my left foot happens to be behind his leg. This could be, are you ready? Yeah, cool. This type of thing, right? So as I'm putting pressure here, right, I get a trip. So just thinking about where your feet end up. And even if it doesn't end up behind him, right, if I end up here, right, I can do the same kind of thing here, and I can get that destabilization. So I can also think about it like this, right? I've had him in front of me, I've had him behind me, and I've moved to the side here, right, with the na movement. I haven't had him inside my space yet. I've had him at a distance here. So what if he was like within my arm space here, right? So he could attack, right? Now I'm here, right? From here, I throw him over my leg. So he throws the attack, right? I'm behind him, and my leg's behind him, so I just simply push him over my leg. Now, stage 4, how can I make this worse? This is the fun one. This is the fun stage. So if you know pressure points and all that stuff, this is where you get to have fun. And this is where also, you know, acupoints make sense, because it's not like, you know, he's gonna throw me in the face and I'm doing like, right, there's a pressure point on the bottom of his foot. I better get to that. No, ain't gonna happen, man. You don't seek out these points like, behind him, in this point here, and now to the foot, and now to the face. No. That's unrealistic, right? It's wherever your hands end up. Right now, this hand is very close to the groin. That's a good way to make this worse. And my hand is going to the face. How can I make this worse? Well, the eyes are there. I can poke him in the eyes before I clock him in the jaw. Or I could roll his head back, right? Do something like that. There's also the collarbone right there. I could just have this come down the collarbone. And anybody who's had injuries with the collarbone knows it sucks. So wherever you end up, that's where you end up with acupoints, right? So he attacks again, right? So here, I come across here, right? That's where I get this. I don't, you know, he throws a punch, I'm like, go like that, no, right? My hand happens to be here, so I use it, right? Or my hand happens to be here, so I use it, or I use it. Right? If my hand happens to be here, there's lots of good funny things over there, right? Wherever your hands are, wherever they end up, even in a different technique, right? I could end up here where I'm trying to strike the face. I could get into the shoulder as well. I could even dig into the collarbone, right? All sorts of stuff. But that's really how you can make things worse. So to review, there's step 1, the obvious, the kick and the punch, the block, you know, the thing that most easily comes to your mind. Step 2, we change the attack or change the direction. Keep in mind hitting, kicking, throwing, grappling, and seizing, controlling, joint locks, all sorts of stuff, as well as changing the direction. He could be behind me, he could be in front of me, he could be to the side, he could be in my space, right, eating up my space. He could be on top of me if we're doing ground stuff, right? So change the direction, change the attack. Then what did I miss? How can I think about this in a different way, right? When I get into a position with one of these techniques, where's my position? Where's my foot? Oh, it's right behind his. You know, sweep it out. Right? Just think outside the box, wherever you happen to land. And then, how do you make this worse? Acupoints, groin, eyes, throat, right? Eyes, throat, groin, that's kind of indicative of our style. Those are our 3 main targets, and everything else comes after that. So that's how you can take your applications to the next level. Not just do what our teacher taught us, but to take it even further. Because if the teacher knows the stuff, they want you to be looking at this stuff too. Because it benefits your practice to be thinking about these things in less of a exact, this is the way my teacher taught it to me, right? Take what they taught you and then seek the rest of the lesson, right? They show you one corner, you show them the other 3. That's when you really learn the lesson. All right, thank you once again for my 2,000 subscribers. I hope to be continuing with this a lot more soon. Take care.